Well, one last thing, and then we'll wrap up. The one time that Ken, we did talk by video, you said that you had seen a UFO.
I have.
If you want to share that, you can. But do you have your own personal story that you would want to share? Because so far we've talked about other people's stories. Do you have a personal story you'd want to share?
Well, my wife and I moved to Valley City in 2007. Before that, we lived in Parma, Ohio. And every night before we went to bed, one of us would take the dogs outside to do their evening ritual, put it that way. And I happened to be out there one evening with the dogs, and I was leaning up against the house, kind of like looking up in the sky. And off to my right, I saw a triangular ship or object. It looked like a pool rack where you pool balls on a pool table, and it had three rounded edges, and it was completely black. Not moving, no lights blinking or anything like that. I couldn't hear any sound. It was just there up in the sky, and I watched it and looked at it. And then I finally decided I was going to try to go in the house and get my binoculars. And when I came back out, it had either moved or I just couldn't find it again. But that was my only UFO sighting, and I wish I could have some more. But
was it making a noise?
I heard no noise. Heard no noise. Again, no lights. Everybody talks about UFOs and they see blinking lights and things like that. I didn't see any kind of lights. And I only saw it because it was darker than the sky around it. And that's how I was able to see it.
How high up do you think it was?
Oh, boy.
Or is it hard to tell?
It's hard to tell. People ask me how big it was, and I say, well, when you look up in the sky and you see a 747 flying by, it doesn't look that big.
Right.
So I would hate to try to guess. It just amazed me that, wow, look at that. What kind of an aircraft can just stay in one spot other than a helicopter, and you're sure as heck going to see that or hear that?
Well, from your perspective, let's use something that is in the sky that we can use as a yardstick. Let's say the moon. You've got the moon out there. How big was it in relation to like the moon? I mean, was it like filled your whole vision, or was it just a little spot up there?
Yeah, I would.
I mean, bigger than the moon?
No, it wasn't bigger than it. Wasn't great, gigantic type of a craft.
So it was smaller.
It was smaller,
but it could have been high. It could have been really high up.
Exactly.
Right. But when you looked at it, like if the moon was there and it like traveled in front of the moon, you could still see the moon behind it. You probably
see the whole object. Inside the scope of the moon. But boy, I've looked in the sky many a time trying to find something else, but no luck yet.
Have you ever talked to people that the folks that have seen them? Have they said, because Mark and I have both had experiences when we saw something and we heard it too, and there were lights and we did hear it. What percentage of the people that you talk to at the meetings or who have given an account of their stories actually have it's because I've heard the stealth where it's stealthy, there's no lights, there's no sound, and I've heard just the opposite, where with mine it was a really powerful, like a voo voo voo, and a big vibration, and I think Mark heard something too. So I don't know, are you seeing accounts from both ends? Like, some people hear it, see it, some people it's more stealthy?
I don't know that offhand. I can't think of anybody that's told me they heard noise from anything, but I've seen pictures of people have taken with their phones, and you just see like a light up in the sky. And I've seen phone video where you could see it moving across the sky. A lot of people have described what they see. Our very first meeting, an elderly woman came, and she was an artist, and she was out walking one day, and she saw what she saw, and she came home and she drew it, and she brought that to the meeting. And I've contacted her on a couple different occasions trying to get her to come back, because I would like to, I didn't think fast enough, get a picture of that drawing or take a better look at it. But she had used like color pencils and everything else. And boy, I wish she would have come back, because that was a great witness. She went right home and drew it. And being a trained artist, she did a heck of a good job.